If you think taking a nap in the afternoon is just a harmless habit, or even something healthy, think again. Because after 65, what used to refresh your mind could now quietly harm it. That short rest you look forward to might not be restoring your brain the way it used to. In fact, it could be doing the opposite. This isn't about scaring you. It's about uncovering what decades of research now reveal about how the aging brain responds differently to sleep, to rest, to disruption. And more importantly, how one small habit you thought was helping you might be quietly robbing you of your sharpness, your focus, even your independence. Millions of older adults across Europe and America swear by their daily nap. But here's the question nobody's asking. Is your nap saving your brain, or slowly aging it faster? In this video, we're going to walk through the truth about power naps after 60. What science says, what doctors are seeing in seniors every day, and real stories from people like you, who started paying attention and changed how they rest. Because when it comes to senior health and mental clarity, the smallest habits can either protect your future, or erase it. Now, before we go any deeper, let me ask you something. If you believe in spreading elderly reflections, life lessons from the elderly, and real inspiration that protects our generation, click the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me. Where are you watching from? I want to know where these conversations are reaching. Let's get into it. It started with Mary. 74. Widowed 5 years ago, she lives alone in Oregon. Every afternoon, after her lunch and crossword puzzle, she lies down for what she calls a little recharge, 20 to 30 minutes max. At first, it helped. She'd wake up with energy, ready to water the plants or call her daughter. But over the past year, her naps started to feel heavier. She'd wake up groggy, confused about the time. Sometimes it took her almost an hour to fully come back. Her memory, once sharp and steady, began to slip. Her doctor ran tests. Nothing serious, no stroke, no dementia. But one suggestion stood out. It might be the way you're napping, he said. And how often? This shocked her. But it turns out, he wasn't wrong. Recent studies published in JAMA Neurology and Nature Aging have found something that many seniors don't know. Regular, long daytime naps may be linked to faster cognitive decline in older adults. Especially naps longer than 30 minutes, or taken late in the day. Why? Because your brain after 60 doesn't regulate sleep the same way anymore. The natural balance between day and night sleep weakens. And when you nap too long, or too often, it starts to interfere with the deep, essential nighttime rest that protects your memory and mental sharpness. Your brain needs rhythm. Sleep at night, alertness in the day. But when naps confuse that rhythm, when the brain gets mixed signals, it starts to break down. That's what happened to Howard, 78, in Manchester. A retired professor, he prided himself on his discipline: up early, tea at 9, news at 10, nap at 1. But he started noticing that even after a nap, his thoughts felt slower. He forgot names mid-conversation. One morning, he left the stove on and forgot he was cooking. His doctor asked him just one question. Do you nap every day? Howard said yes, of course. Every day, like clockwork. That's when he learned about the nap threshold, what sleep researchers now believe is the fine line between helpful and harmful daytime rest. According to neurologist Dr. Sonia Ankeli Israel, naps under 30 minutes can be protective. They improve alertness, lower stress, and even reduce heart disease risk in older adults. But go beyond that? And you risk falling into what's called sleep inertia, a state of cognitive fog that doesn't just last a few minutes, but can affect your brain for hours. Over time, if it becomes a pattern, it's linked to poor sleep quality at night, and even earlier onset of memory problems. And it's worse if you nap late in the day, say, after 3 p.m. That's when melatonin, the body's natural sleep hormone, starts preparing you for nighttime rest. A late nap disrupts that signal. You fall asleep later. You wake up tired. So the next day, what do? Nap again. And the cycle begins. Still, it's not all bad news. The truth is, napping isn't the enemy, it's how you nap that matters. Let's take Helen, 69. from Toronto. She works part-time at a library and takes care of her grandkids on weekends. She noticed she'd get sleepy around 2:30 p.m., just after lunch. At first, she resisted the nap. But then she changed her approach. She set an alarm for 20 minutes, no more. She put on calming music. Lay flat. No distractions. And when the alarm rang, she got up. Didn't scroll her phone, didn't snooze. Just got moving again. That small habit changed everything. Her energy returned. Her mind felt clearer. And her nighttime sleep, according to her Fitbit, got deeper and more restorative. There's a reason top geriatric clinics recommend power naps between 1 and 3 p.m., no longer than 20 to 30 minutes. It gives the brain a gentle break, without falling into deep sleep that disrupts your cycle. But the truth is, the danger isn't just physical, it's emotional, too. When a nap becomes something you need just to make it through the day, it's often a sign. A sign your body is overwhelmed, your sleep at night is broken, or your emotional energy is low. That was the case for Marcus, 81, who lived in rural Colorado. His wife had passed, and he started napping multiple times a day, not because he was tired, but because he was lonely. The silence was too loud. The days felt long. And sleep was the only escape. It wasn't until his daughter visited that she realized he wasn't just tired, he was disconnected. What we often think is a nap might be something else. Loneliness. Depression. A lack of purpose. This is why elderly wisdom matters. This is why we share stories and quotes and life lessons from the elderly, not just to pass time, but to remind each other what to watch for. If you find yourself napping more, ask yourself, am I just tired, or is there something deeper? Because protecting your brain after 70 isn't just about eating right or doing puzzles. It's about listening to what your body and spirit are telling you, even in silence. And if you found this conversation meaningful, remember to like this video, subscribe for more insights on senior health and motivation, and don't forget to comment. Where are you watching from? I'd love to know which part of the world we're connecting through these stories. Marcus's story brings us to one of the most important realizations about aging well. It's not just about doing the right things for your body. It's about paying attention to what those small habits are trying to say. Because sometimes a nap is not just a nap. It's a sign that your body is out of rhythm, or that your emotions are running on empty. And the line between healthy rest and unhealthy retreat gets thinner as we age. That's exactly what happened with Carol, 76, a retired school nurse living in Boston. For years, she kept a vibrant routine: morning walks, community volunteering, dinners with friends. But when she had knee surgery and had to rest for a few weeks, her routine broke. Her energy dipped, and so did her sleep. At first, she blamed the surgery. But even after she recovered, she couldn't shake the exhaustion. She began napping twice a day, once after breakfast and again after lunch. Those naps weren't refreshing. They were heavy. She'd wake up disoriented, anxious, and restless at night. Her doctor noticed a pattern right away. Her blood pressure had increased. Her nighttime sleep was fragmented. Her appetite was off. The culprit? Not just inactivity, but poor nap management. This is what we need to talk about more openly. When your nap schedule starts replacing your sleep schedule, your whole system becomes confused. After 70, the body's circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells us when to sleep and wake, gets more fragile. It needs consistency. Napping too often, or too late in the day, starts to throw off the rhythm, like someone shifting the hands of a clock every few hours. You no longer know when to feel awake or when to feel sleepy. And that's when your brain starts sending distress signals. Doctors at Stanford Sleep Medicine Center call it daytime sleepiness syndrome, a common but often ignored pattern in older adults who are napping to compensate for bad nighttime sleep. The problem? These naps end up making nighttime sleep even worse, leading to a vicious cycle of light rest, confusion, fatigue, and emotional decline. But here's the good news. You can reverse the damage. Let's look at how. It starts with resetting your natural energy rhythm, what some geriatricians now call the senior energy curve. Step 1. Expose yourself to natural light early in the day. Light is the single most powerful trigger for resetting your circadian rhythm. Open your curtains, step outside even for 5 minutes, or sit by a window while having tea. Step 2. Avoid heavy meals close to nap time. Digesting a large meal, especially one rich in carbs or fats, sends sleep signals to your brain at the wrong time. That's why a big lunch followed by a nap often leads to that sluggish, foggy feeling. Step 3. If you need to nap, use the 3-2-1 method. 3 hours before bedtime, stop caffeine. 2 hours before bedtime, avoid screens. 1 hour before bedtime, turn off bright lights and slow your activity. And during the day, limit naps to 20-25 minutes, no longer. Set a timer. Rest your body, but not your brain's natural rhythm. The seniors who follow this pattern don't just sleep better, they think better, move better, and live longer. That's what happened to Ed, 82, in Chicago. He was once a serial napper. Retired early, he filled his afternoons with long stretches on the recliner. He told his wife it helped his back. But over time, his memory dulled, his conversation slowed, and his balance became shaky. After a mild fall in his garage, his daughter insisted on a full health evaluation. The doctor didn't just give him vitamins, he gave him a new plan. It started with setting a clear wake-up time. Then light stretching. Morning sunlight. And a firm rule. No nap longer than 25 minutes, and only before 2 p.m. The result? Within a month, Ed's nighttime sleep improved. His daytime alertness returned. He got back into his hobby, woodworking, and told his neighbor, "I feel like I lost 2 years, and just got them back." This is the power of intentional rest. Because the truth is, you don't need to fight naps, you need to master them. But there's another part of this debate. Some experts argue that naps, when used wisely, are not just neutral. They're actually protective. A short nap, done right, can lower inflammation, reduce cortisol levels, and even improve cardiovascular health. According to a study by the National Institute on Aging, seniors who took short naps, 15-30 minutes, 3 times per week, had fewer incidents of heart disease and stroke than those who either didn't nap or napped excessively. The difference wasn't whether they napped, it was how they napped. And that's the key insight: napping is a tool. Used well, it restores. Used poorly, it confuses. And when ignored altogether, it can leave you overtired, irritable, and prone to injury. Now let's bring it back to the emotional side again. Because behind every nap schedule is a person. A story. A need. Maybe your naps are rooted in fatigue from caregiving, like Joan, 68, who spends her days tending to her husband with dementia. Maybe they come from grief, like Sam, 75, who lost his brother and says he naps now just to avoid the silence. Or maybe, like Anita, 80, they're just a habit left over from retirement days that were once full of life, but now feel too slow. This is where elderly reflections matter most. Because they remind us that behind every health issue is a human need. If your naps are helping, short, refreshing, and empowering, then you're likely doing something right. But if they're becoming a way to escape the day, or filling in for poor sleep, or making you feel foggy and disconnected, it's time to pause and ask, what is my body really asking for? Rest? Routine? Or renewal? Only you know the answer. But one thing is clear. The aging brain is resilient, but not invincible. It doesn't need more sleep. It needs better sleep. And better rhythm. And that rhythm starts not at night, but in the day. With the choices you make. With the way you rest. With the habits you protect. If this message has helped you reflect on your routine, your sleep, or your health, leave a comment. Tell me what time you usually nap, or if you've noticed changes in your energy after 60. Your story might help someone else watching from across the world. Let's go back to Mary for a moment, the 74-year-old in Oregon who used to love her daily afternoon naps. After learning what those naps were doing to her mind and her energy, she didn't just cut them out. She relearned how to rest. Instead of letting sleep take over whenever she felt sluggish, she started treating her rest time like part of her health routine, just like eating or exercising. She followed the golden nap rule: before 3 p.m., under 30 minutes, never twice a day. And then she did something even more powerful. She replaced some of her naps with movement. Gentle yoga. A slow walk around her garden. Sometimes just turning on music and stretching her arms to the rhythm. Not to burn calories. Not to build muscle. Just to reboot her brain without lying down. Why did it work? Because, as doctors at Johns Hopkins explain, physical movement in older adults increases oxygen to the brain, improves mental clarity, and mimics many of the benefits of a short nap, without interfering with nighttime sleep. This is the part most people miss. The solution to excessive fatigue in seniors isn't always more rest. It's better energy circulation. And in your 70s and 80s, that circulation comes not from pushing your body harder, but from moving it smarter. There's a reason the world's longest living populations, like those in Sardinia, Okinawa, and Ikaria, don't nap every day. They rest. They pause. But they also move with purpose, even in old age. They walk, stretch, do chores slowly and mindfully. Their minds stay sharp not because they sleep more, but because they stay engaged with life. Still, we have to talk about the exceptions. Because not everyone's life allows for perfect nap routines, quiet afternoons, or morning walks in the sun. What about those living in assisted care? Those managing chronic illness? Those with disrupted sleep due to medications? That's where adaptation matters more than rules. Let's look at Jack, 86, a retired engineer now in a memory care unit in Florida. He struggles with nighttime rest. Wakes up every 2 hours. Sometimes forgets where he is. His caregivers used to encourage daytime naps, thinking it would give him peace. But his new doctor introduced a new approach. Instead of naps, Jack was given restful periods. Not sleep. Just time in a chair, with his favorite music or a calming view. Eyes open or closed. No lights off. No lying down. Just a mental break, without confusing his body clock. This tiny shift reduced Jack's evening confusion. He fell asleep easier. Had fewer hallucinations. And even began remembering more names and words. Because for seniors like Jack, the problem isn't just naps. It's sleep architecture, the delicate balance of cycles the brain moves through in a 24-hour period. Naps can disrupt this architecture in fragile minds. But gentle, structured rest? That can support it. So here's the final truth. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to the nap debate. But there is a one-size-fits-all principle. Protect your rhythm. Whether you nap or not, your brain is asking for order. A predictable cycle. A stable pattern. A sense of safety in how you rest and when. Because every healthy senior brain has one thing in common. It knows what to expect from the day. And it finds peace in that predictability. So what should you take away from all of this? If you're over 60, over 70, or even over 80, don't be afraid to nap. But don't nap without intention. Keep it short, 20 to 30 minutes. Keep it early, before 3 p.m. Keep it consistent, don't jump between nap and no nap days. And listen, if your body needs more, ask why. Not just when. Because your energy isn't gone. It's just misdirected. And often, the path to sharper memory, better sleep, and deeper peace doesn't require more effort. Just better rhythm. Now, let me ask you, what's your relationship with naps these days? Are they helping you? Hurting you? Or are you still trying to figure it out? Drop a comment below and share your experience. It could help someone else finally understand why they feel the way they do. And if you found this video helpful, filled with the kind of elderly wisdom, inspiration, and life lessons that help us all age with dignity, click the like button. Subscribe for more honest, science-backed reflections on senior health and motivation. Let's build a community where knowledge is shared, like a conversation across the kitchen table. Calm, real, and always with love. You've just spent your time investing in your mind. That's something worth being proud of. Here's to every viewer, from every corner of the world, thank you for being here. And remember, you don't stop growing after 70, you just grow wiser.